Good morning, Alpha Company. Good morning, Alpha Company. You could have done boot camp 5 times, I don't care. There's still value being brought to going through an indoctrination week at Officer Candidate School.
The purpose of it is to create a stressful environment to see how you're going to respond, but also, especially for the prior enlisted people, I think it's a little bit of a wake-up call. But we need to snap you out and remind you that you are starting over. You're starting over as an ensign, and you signed up to be here. Some of you applied 7 times to be here.
You have to lead yourself first from the get-go, and it was shown as we arrived. Totally different experience than boot camp, right? We come in, we get our room assignments. When we get to our room, there is almost no instructions, and that's where it starts. And you got to figure it out.
No, it's completely different from my past experience. I was used to just getting IT or smoked, you know, just for being there. And what I really liked about this one was that you knew why, but they were there to coach you through it. I can't speak for other platoons because we weren't always like in the same hallway area, but I know for myself, my POs, they always told us why, and they told us now's the time where you need to decide what you're gonna do. You need to figure out a way to push through. You need to figure out your reason why. What's your reason why to make it to the end?
This has been the difference making in terms of leadership. I don't think there is a program out there that prepares you the way Officer Candidate School prepares you.
The leading self phase is trying to be able to manage your own time, and before we move into the leading self and others, you have to be able to lead yourself and, you know, manage your own time, your own tasks, find time to study for your whatever assignments or quizzes. It's just trying to get you all to continue to work together, but trying to master those skills of fall in line with the leadership development framework.
On a daily, we have very difficult moments where we need to prioritize and use our time management skills to fulfill a task, making yourself available to a friend, or making time for yourself.
We all come from different backgrounds, and we all come from different places, and some of us different generations in the world, so kind of finding that communication spot and to get over those barriers of, I like to be communicated this way, or I'm not so much of a high five person. Kind of getting used to that and different personalities is kind of a bit of a challenge.
Pushing to your limits and then breaking those limits that you thought. Because I know for me, there was a lot of times where I'm like, oh, there's no way in this world that I'm gonna absolutely be able to do it. And then I would do it and be like, wait, I could still do it more. So that was really cool to see. And like, this is the biggest thing for me from BOTC up to this point, and even walking in this door, I have never bonded with a group of people so fast and loved everyone so genuinely.
I think here it kind of dives more into the finite details and the subtle details of the leadership, the internal introspection of what drives you, because that's ultimately what's going to carry you and shine through to inspire and influence others. Right? I think really cultivating that internal introspection here, like how we started doing in the beginning, getting to look ourselves in the mirror at the end of every day and realize who we are and what we stand for and how we translate that to others. That's something you really don't get on the outside.
I've succeeded, I think, in leaning on my shipmates. I thought I could handle it on my own kind of thing, and that's not the case here. So I think I've learned how to really rely on them, not only just for like the teamwork aspect kind of stuff, but even the self projects I can learn from other people who are stronger in other aspects here. So that's probably the biggest thing.
So I like the student interaction, but I love seeing when something clicks. So if there's something that someone or a group or a platoon is struggling with, and they're right there on the edge of getting that concept without giving the answer, having them realize and see the thoughts turn in their head of like, oh, this is what we're doing, and now I understand it, and then have them progress forward through that. It's very satisfying to try to bring someone up to a new concept and then have them struggle with it a little bit and then figure it out on their own, and then see them learn and grow as officer candidates and officers.
One thing I learned though is when it comes to failure, everybody hates it, and I don't want to get there in the first place, but I took it personal. Even though they told us you're gonna fail, you're not gonna pass this thing, it was like, no, I'm gonna pass it. It's me. They can fail. I'm gonna pass. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So I kind of had to learn to make it professional and not so personal.
Mark.
I think drill was tricky because we have so many different people with so many different backgrounds. We have all of the prior enlisted classmates that came through C-SPY. All of us have gone through boot camp. Some of the prior enlisted have not been through basic training and not marched since then in over a decade. And then we have the newest sessions. So we've got a wide range of people that know what they're doing but haven't done it in a long time. The people who just did it, and then people who've never done it. Getting everyone on the same page was definitely tricky. We were able to get it done, and it was great to see everyone come together, see everyone learn drill, and make sure that we aren't leaving anyone behind. Everyone knows what we're doing.
So the survival at sea was a lot of fun. It's not exactly what I expected. It definitely helps give an opportunity for people that don't know how to swim, gives them an opportunity to learn. But what I liked was it gets you comfortable with all the different exposure suits, and it really gives you the opportunity to learn about what could happen and then what could save your life, like a lot of the skills.
The NOAA Corps is the operational specialist for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
You know, on the surface, everybody thinks they're just the weather people, you know, and I thought that all the way up until I went to OCS, and then I was kind of really impressed with the students that were in my OCS class, and it really pretty much tripled just meeting the staff.
The main benefit is just the inter-service relations, because the Coast Guard they have their afloat section, but they have also other ones, but NOAA is primarily afloat and aviation, but you never know when you need a helping hand from another service.
Our POs and APOs are saying, like, you are going to run into each other every other month at all kinds of meetings. So I think that's crucial with the Coast Guard too, because we're stationed in a lot of the same places. So I think it's vital too, because we are described as sisterhood. You know, the Coast Guard and NOAA, we feed off of each other. We run a lot of similar operations alongside each other. So I think it's very vital to keep those relationships and to keep in touch with those shipmates.
It's such a different perspective. A lot of coasties can kind of get tunnel visioned into just like the Coast Guard perspective and not really utilize the resources that may be right next door to your room or in your room with you, because they're doing a completely different thing. And you know, at least I see a lot of the NOAA students do it. You know, it's especially when you see like the leadership philosophy papers or like for group assignments, a lot of those things where, you know, NOAA kind of gets plugged in and they're just kind of awestruck at some of the processes and systems that we kind of take for granted. I don't think we're very good as coasties looking the other way. I do think it's pretty important to have them here.
Billet night was fun, and it's stressful. The next few years of your life kind of hinge in this moment between you and an envelope. Yeah! After you walk off that stage, you have a completely different outlook and perception of what your career might look like. It's the next step in your career, but it's a really fun way to set that off.
It was great just to have that energy, that whole scenario, that whole night was so special, knowing what our future will look like.
I've never experienced anything quite like that.
When we move from indoctrination to the leading teams and others phase, and now when we're in this transition to service phase, right, that maximum effort looks different. It's holding your peers accountable. It's having those hard conversations. It's executing professional customs and courtesies with the staff, with each other, with stakeholders.
I am in the afloat strand, which is everybody who's going on a cutter. We've been splitting our time between classroom, theoretical work, the simulators, and actually going underway. It's been really incredible to get underway, start to apply the theory that we've been learning for the past 10 weeks and understand what it's really like to be afloat on a Coast Guard cutter.
So for the prevention strand, we did two kind of components. We went to Hornblower, which is a shipyard. We went there, talked with a bunch of industry people, kind of saw the work they were doing. And the part two of our strand was T-boat inspections. The vessels, the student training vessels that we have here at the academy, we did like inspections on those. It was a great experience, I think, really just getting in that headspace of we'll be doing inspections, talking with people, making sure we know what we're talking about, that was really important as well.
We have gotten to talk to all of the response staff here, which have very extensive backgrounds in all the sections of response. All of the staff have set us up to know what to expect. We aren't leaving OCS completely clueless. We've gotten the opportunity to visit both a sector and a small boat station. The sector, we got to talk to all of the officers there that are in the respective career fields and get an insight of what the day-to-day looks like right now.
There's a lot of little moments that put together make it an experience, a memorable one. The snowball fight was kind of cool. It was kind of like a let's let loose after a hard 3 weeks. So that's probably one of the most memorable ones.
On Saturdays, we would get together and we would do intramural sports. We played some flag football, ultimate frisbee, some soccer, there was some dodgeball. It's just a time for us to kind of unwind a little bit and get to know each other more. Really what it works on is like the team building and, you know, within the company itself. So it's very helpful moving forward throughout the program.
But another one was playing dodgeball together. Like, I know we're so serious, or we have to be serious, to flick on a switch, but it's also very relieving to see when we go have these like weekend, you know, sports days or with these little morale events, just to see everybody cohesively coming together. Like watching the Super Bowl, that was amazing. That was so much fun. And I think being able to know each other in a professional setting like this, but then also having those little moments to see true personalities come out that are unfiltered, I think that's something that I cherish the most, is really getting to know people.
From here, I'm just going to hold on to the cultivation of the friendships that I made and the impact, because I just think that what has happened here, it could not happen externally. It couldn't happen anywhere else at any other time. It just kind of goes to what they say, you know, you will be where you need to be at the right time. And I think the right people were here for me to get through. And I think I was here at the right time for some people to get through, and I think that's going to be the cornerstone of my OCS experience and what I really brought to the table here.
Now being in OCS and spending time with people in the Coast Guard, I completely understand why so many people say, I came for the mission and I stayed for the people. This is an incredible group of over 70 officer candidates and 20 odd BOTC candidates, and it really is the best group of people I've ever been a part of, and it makes me proud to be commissioning with all of them and proud to be serving with them in the fleet in the future.
I'm so proud of them. I have seen how much they've grown in just 8-9 weeks. It really is impressive, and one of the best things is that they're actually eager to learn and they're excited to be ensigns, and I just know that all of them are going to be very successful in the Coast Guard and following whatever dreams they have. So I'm super proud that they welcomed the program with open arms, and they really did take the most out of it.
Remember kind of where you came from, don't stop that want to learn, and it's okay to be in an environment where you don't know everything. You should be there, because if you know everything, that's stagnation. You shouldn't be there anymore.
I hope on graduation day, you guys are feeling anxiously excited, right? I think being a little nervous to go out and go to your first unit is healthy. But I really hope people are super excited to head out to their unit, humbled by the opportunity to make a difference in a lot of people's lives.
For everybody that is walking through those doors today, I would say to soak it in, because this is probably the last time that you'll be able to walk through these doors and have this type of moment with all your friends and all your family around. So soak it in, continue what you're doing, and do it at your next unit, and I know you guys will be great. Keep in contact. Thanks, guys.